all of it branded to have what it is your expertise is, that it's really clear what you provide and who your ideal client is. So having it written down in a plan, I can't tell you how many women in business I see don't have a written plan. And I see them like kind of a railroad track. They're kind of every which way. They're not really staying on that track of what their plan is, and then they can't focus. So I think it's really critical to having a good marketing plan. I mean, celebrating 16 years in business, if I didn't have a plan, I know I wouldn't be around for this long. So
I totally get that, Amy. I feel the same way. I mean, I'm going on year 55, if you can imagine, and marketing is what it's all about. And I tell everybody all the time, I don't care what you call yourself, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a retail store, a plumber, you're in the marketing business. And if you're not marketing, you're not going to be thought of on an instantaneous kind of situation. Now, you also, I know, deal with email newsletters. And it's interesting because a lot of people are saying now that email newsletters are not really effective because, everybody gets a free newsletter and people are tired of getting newsletters. And yet your point of view is that you can generate income through them and you can also leverage them through social media sharing. So tell us a little bit about that, because I know I still tell people they should be doing an email newsletter, and I send one out every week. But I'm just wondering the comparison of what you think of email newsletters versus print. I know print is much more expensive, but it also is more tangible. So I want to get your viewpoints on generating income and also leveraging them through social media.
So Dr. Carson, this is Amy, and Colleen and I just published our book. It's Strategic Winning Email Marketing Tips That Deliver Results. And what I know from experience is we generate for our clients income through email newsletters. So let me give you an example. There's Cincy Chic, which is an online women's publication and magazine that has an email newsletter. And we secured to date $30,000 from a bank and a realtor to advertise on her email newsletter. And how we were able to secure sponsors for her email newsletter website was to build a list. She had 20,000 emails that the bank wanted to access about their banking services to her brand, as well as a realtor. So we put a banner ad for Sipsy Klein Realtors. They pay $15,000 a year on her banner ad for her email newsletter to let women know that are getting her newsletter to think of them as their realtor. And that's just one example of how we generate income. The second example is, let me use our client who's a travel agent. By opening her click-through reports on her email newsletter that shows who clicked and opened her email, she followed up and got 8 new travel agent clients from using the actual analytics of her emails. Many people send an email and they never open their click-through reports. Those are the ones that we know are interested in their services because they clicked on it. So that's your sales funnel, and that's your follow-up sales tool, is that click-through of the email. So she got 8 new customers that generated her income through that email. Another example is a builder. A builder just built a beautiful home, and in his email newsletter, he generated income by having the window company advertise on his newsletter and pay him, and gave them a hot link to their website on his newsletter. We had a solar panel company advertise on his newsletter. So many people are leaving money on the table by not thinking about having advertisers, sponsors that would be, we call them collaborative partners, that would want to get their message out through their own newsletters.
Fabulous, fabulous suggestions. Now, you just mentioned also that you've just come out with a book, you and Colleen. So I know that you can help with content when it comes to other people publishing a book, and everybody's got a book inside them. I mean, I've written 5 books, and they came from inside of me, and yet other people can spend 5 years trying to write one book. So you have a system for writing and publishing a book in 30 days, and you said that you can help with the content of this. So tell us how people can find out about that and what that means.
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, if you've got a book in mind about thinking about doing it, eWomen Network, which I'm managing director for eWomen Network. This is Amy, and I've been a managing director of eWomen Network now for 6 years. And I know, Dr. Carson, you're one of our awesome premier success coaches with eWomen Network, and we thank you for that. And so we have a publishing division through eWomen that we've helped many people become international best-selling authors. Now, Colleen and I used instantpublisher.com, and we did it in 30 days for our first book. And we got the ISBN number, we got the book cover designed, we wrote the content, and they give you a format, and then it's print. It's called print on demand. So within 30 days, we had the book done and printed and delivered back, and we were almost completely sold out, and we'll need to do another run of these books, 40 email marketing tips.
Fantastic. Well, now, you've brought up a couple of things. First of all, you've talked about eWomen Network, which is a wonderful organization for women who want to network with other women and want to attend a conference that's just chock full of all kinds of ideas and suggestions and knowledge, which is fantastic. And it goes on every August in Dallas, so people can check that out as well. But how can people get in touch with you guys?
So they can call us at 513-403-0301. They can like us on Facebook, The Strategic Connectors. We also have a business page, The Strategic Connectors, on LinkedIn. And they can follow us on Twitter at ConnectorsInfo.
Fantastic. And your website is thestrategicconnectors.com. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Wonderful. Well, now, one of the things we've been talking about, all kinds of PR things and media, social media and marketing and newsletters and books, but you have to be able to write meaningful content in order to attract your niche market. And then people think, well, I have to start over every day. But you say, no, you can repurpose the content. You can write something and use it in a lot of different ways. So tell us how you do that, and then tell us how you write that meaningful content in the first place, when some people don't think they can put words on paper. You know, they just maybe they were taught by an English teacher who said, you'll never be able to write anything, you know, you're no good, and they've got that in their head. So tell us a little bit how to write that meaningful content.
Okay, Dr. Carson, this is Colleen, and I am a writer, and I was actually, I'm an award-winning writer, and I actually was told that same thing in high school, that I wouldn't be a writer, and it's my passion, and I love to write, and I have become, I think, a pretty decent writer. The way to become meaningful content is, a lot of people don't think they have anything to write about. Nobody thinks they have stories, but everybody has a story inside of them if they just sit down and think about it. And one way to come up with that meaningful content is, I'm going to use an example of one of our clients. They're a restaurateur, and they have a great business here in Cincinnati. And we help them with their social media calendar. And we go back and talk to them. We talk to the clients about what their needs are. And we write meaningful content for them by figuring out what the stories they want to portray at that time are. For example, if they're having specials going on, if they're having cooking classes going on, what events they might be attending that they want people to come to. And once we get that content down, that's important to them, we always talk to them about it, and we get it written and okayed by them. The way you repurpose that is, say if you write a blog and you have a blog about an event that you're putting on or putting out, and you write that blog on your website, the best way that you repurpose that information is, you can, in your newsletter, you can do a small little blurb about your blog in your newsletter. So it's repurposing that in your newsletter, and you're linking that back to your website, to the blog, so they can read the entire blog. You can also repurpose that material in articles, like through ezine.com, and there's several other online article marketing sites that you can put your information on. You can repurpose the material into your Twitter, into your social media calendar through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. And so it's always about repurposing the content instead of starting from scratch all the time. And also there's a great online website that you can go to. It's called HARO, helpareporterout.com. And you can repurpose your material or put a press release or any of your content in there to give them information to publish.
You know, that's a wonderful site. I use that a lot, Harrow. I would say I respond a minimum of 3 to 4 times a week to things that they have in there. So I think that's an excellent source as well. And, you know, people think they don't have the time for this. Do you guys ever act as a, you know, I don't want to do any of this stuff, so you people do it all? I mean, is that what the Strategic Connectors is all about? Will you just take that and run with it?
Dr. Carson, this is Amy. It's funny you ask that question because we work a lot with contractors, builders. They can build buildings, but they cannot write. So we help a lot of our clients that really have an issue with writing. They're just not confident with their writing skills. So yeah, that's often the case.
All right. Well, everybody listening, now you've heard these women. They are dynamite. They are powerhouses. They can do everything for you that you could possibly imagine and that you don't want to do yourself. So whether it's marketing or whether it's PR or whether it's writing, all of the things that you never think that you want to do, these are the people that you should connect with. So go to their site, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever it is, the strategicconnectors.com. And, you know, I just want to thank you both for being with me today. You've been a revelation. I've already taken 100 notes here, and I think of myself as a marketing guru. So I really appreciate everything you've done today. And I want to thank all my listeners for being with us today on Women in Business, the show that brings you women entrepreneurs and senior managers. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Please connect with me on Facebook and Twitter, and be sure to download my ebook, Life Lessons from an SOB, on my website, spunkyoldbroad.com, where you can also find information on my speeches, coaching, and resources. You can also email me at Gayle, that's Gayle, Carson13 at Gmail. And I just want to thank again Amy and Colleen for being with us today from the Strategic Connectors. Thank you very, very much for being on the show today. A great information package that you've provided for us. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.